The Bonaire Junior Ranger program is a really nice example in the Caribbean region where young people come together and they share, they get involved in caring for the ocean. The Gulf and Caribbean Fisheries Institute and NOAA's Coral Reef Conservation Program have been working with a group of nearly 30 marine national parks from the Caribbean region during the last 5 years. The managers of those areas have so much in common. One of the things that they identified to us is that they really need to work more on outreach, education and communicating effectively with the communities where they're based. The Marine Protected Area managers from these other participating countries in the region, I think they've been really inspired this week to actually reapply and tailor a program like this to enable young people from their own communities to get involved in sharing and in learning and in caring about our ocean.
Junior Rangers is a group on the island, my island of Bonaire. It is a group where kids come together and we're taught by different volunteers in our community about the importance of the nature, the importance of our environment and how we can best conserve this. And we work together by using everything that we learn into the field. So we'll learn about why plastic in our ocean is important, and then the following weekend we'll go onto one of our beaches and clean up the beach because there's a lot of plastic that drifts onto our shores. And that's one thing that is really important in Junior Rangers, is to give back to our environment because we're put onto this earth and we need to conserve this planet for future generations.
Also, something very fun I learned from the park rangers is how to drive a boat in the water, like maneuvering it into a harbor or going on high speed through the sea. It was very fun and it was a great experience.
Boat handling, learning how to drive a boat, also helps us with careers. A lot of us might go into dive operations, and there you need to learn how to tie knots, which is something else we learned in the program.
Yep.
And a few years after I learned how to drive a boat, I got a job on one of the tour companies on the island, and I learned a lot about boats then, but I also knew stuff. And to go into my job knowing something, it made my boss feel so much better. It's like, oh, we're in good hands. She knows something about boats. It's not a total rookie.
Junior Rangers has been a great building for the way I am. It's helped me to be more social. It's helped me to see the beauty in nature.
One thing that we do, we help different researchers on the island and we help build databases. So with plant identification, we help a foundation called Eco Foundation, which is focused on our local parrots, to identify different plants and trees and to rank them from if they are full of leaves, if they're dry, if they're dead, are they fruiting, and they'll have GPS codes and everything. And so they teach us how to use the GPS and how to monitor them and then how to build it into their database. We try to make every experience as fun as it can be. We try not to be too serious, only serious when we need to be, such as when it concerns our safety. But we try to make it as fun as possible and incorporate the younger Junior Rangers and the older ones so everyone feels like the family that we are.
The Junior Rangers is a very active program. We dive at least 3 times a month.
With diving and even with snorkeling, you get a closer look. And by being a very good diver, you know that you're just a guest in the coral reef. So you're just there to observe. You're not there to damage anything or touch anything. And you can just be one with the reef and you can see everything happening around you, and that's when you realize how valuable our ocean is and how we need to conserve it. One of the original ships that were used to bring cargo between the ABC Islands, so Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, the one in the very last that still exists is not in the best condition, but it's recently been brought to Bonaire from Curacao where it's just been sitting, and the community has decided, let's fix up this ship. And they ask as many volunteers as possible to come, and they'll teach you how to fix and restore an original ship that was built on Bonaire, and it has a lot of history and meaning to our community. And to have the Junior Rangers incorporated in that is very important to us, and it's very interesting to see how it's made. This ship is so damaged that it will never be able to be back in the ocean, but it will be turned into a museum. That way everybody, tourists and locals included, will be able to learn the history, and then also we'll feel better that we incorporated and also helped to restore something in our history.
There's a school the school I go to, the high school, it's mostly theoretical, so books and just writing them down and doing tests. But the Junior Rangers is more practical. You get into it, you do activities, you go diving, you get microscopes and look at the phytoplankton. That's a great way of learning, a different way of learning. That's partially why I got into the program.
So we just met marine park managers from across the Caribbean and from Latin America, and my expectations were going to be these really intimidating people in charge, people that, you know, no fun but just strict business, and I was pleasantly surprised. These marine park managers, they really care about the environment and they care about the future. And they realize that they need to invest time in the youth. And they were very, very interested to hear what we had to say and what we do on our island. And that made me feel very comfortable. That made me present my presentation much better than if they were very strict and did not laugh at all.
At the Belize Audubon Society, we're interested in engaging youth and having them join us in our conservation work. The Bonaire Junior Rangers are doing an excellent job in getting them involved and getting them interested in conservation. This is something that we think that we need. We need their program, we need to model what they're doing so that we can also apply it in our different countries, especially us at Belize Audubon Society.
I think this type of programs with this type of training is really good for every person in the Caribbean and outside the Caribbean too, because it's a good way to understand what our oceans mean to us, how important they are, and also they become ambassadors and guardians of it. And sadly enough, there's a lot of obstacles on the way, but I think this program is so encouraging and fun and motivating that it will make this dynamic easier. So yeah, I definitely would see people in Mexico, all the islands of the Caribbean, Honduras, Central America getting involved and engaged, and this should be a program that should be replicated.
My name is Julia Marisol Martinez. I'm 17 years old and I'm a Junior Ranger from Bonaire. And I encourage you to support your local marine park.